I'm not teaching, I am publicly learning. But hi and welcome to Learning of Life in UK test part 324. The police and their it's a long chapter. The police and their duties while doing leg stretching, and if you participate in the leg stretching, that is your own risk. The first exercise, we're having the legs long out, and we are flexing the foot, so pull the toes in and have them together, and then lean in front. You can also lean in front with a round back or with a straight back in front if you don't use the hands. The police and their duties. The job of the police in the UK is to protect life and property, prevent disturbances, also known as keeping the peace, and prevent and detect crime. So the police, they should protect life and property so that there is no harm happening to property, that nothing is stolen or destroyed, and also to the life of the people, that people are not attacked. Prevent disturbances, also known as keeping the peace. It's hard to describe. I could also use the traffic now here, but everyone drives perfectly. It would disturb people if people would just drive around as they want. Prevent and detect crime. So that a crime doesn't happen in the first place. They try to look where will a crime happen, and then they're trying to detect that it doesn't happen and then to prevent it. And the next exercise, we're taking one leg in, we're bringing the other in, and stretching the other again. So police should protect life and property, prevent disturbances, and prevent and detect crime. The police are organized into a number of separate police forces headed by chief constables. They are independent of the government. So the police are organized into a number of separate police forces. What are separate police forces? Headed by chief constables. They are independent of the government. So the police is independent of a separate police force. Somehow the police works. In November 2012, the public first elected Police and Crime Commissioners (PCCS) in England. Wait, what? In November 2012, the public first elected Police and Crime Commissioners in England. Wait, so these are directly elected individuals who are responsible for the delivery of an efficient and effective police force that reflects the needs of the local communities. PCCS set local police priorities and the local policing budget. They also appoint the local chief constable. That sounds complex and I don't understand. We're changing my leg. So, the public, so first was an election of the public. So all the people could in November 2012 in England and Wales vote who should become the Police and Crime Commissioner. And they are directly elected people who are responsible for the delivery of an efficient and effective police force that reflects the needs of the local communities. Are these completely random people, or do they know something about police in some way? Are these who is it? PCCS set local police priorities and local police. So we are going in there and writing down we need 1 million for traffic control, 2 million for night guard, 3 million for day guard, and 5 million to investigate crime scenes. So, and they try to make the police effective and efficient. And they also appoint the local chief constable, the PCCS. There are some public votes where all the people can together elect someone who then is then the PCCS, the Police and Crime Commissioner, and they are making the budget of the police and looking for the priorities. And that should help to make the police efficient and effective. Something like that. I don't think we can come any closer. Now to the car racer. We're going into the 90-90 position. So both legs having 90 degrees. We're going with the hands to the knee which is behind of us, and we're leaning with the shoulder in front to the knee which is in front of us. The police force is a public service. Is a public service that helps and protects everyone, no matter what their background or where they live. So the police force is a service. at public service. So it's for public. Why we name public service? I don't really understand the term public service. And they're helping everyone, and they're trying to protect everyone. And that's regardless of their background or where they live. So no matter where in the United Kingdom someone lives, or at what place, or where they have moved from, or something like that, the police is there for everyone to help and protect. Police officers must themselves obey the law. Yes, they themselves have to obey the law. They must not misuse their authority, make a false statement, be rude or abusive, or commit racial discrimination. If police officers are corrupt or misuse their authority, they are severely punished. Why are telling us that? Because they want us to protect. Because they want to tell us that police officers have to obey to the law and that they are not above the law. So that now in the United Kingdom, just thinks they are unprotected and thinks that they can basically do what they want and that they are the authority. That's why they're writing it. So we're going to make it in detail, but it's an important part. It's just for many people, I don't know about self-explaining, obvious. Maybe obvious is not that bad as a word for that case. So the police force is a public service. It should help and protect everyone. And they must themselves obey the law. So the police officers also have to follow the law. They must not misuse their authority. So they not just misuse it, and they are not allowed to make a false statement. They have to tell the truth, and they are not allowed to lie about anything. They are not allowed to be rude or abusive. So they are not allowed to be mean. They have to be friendly or neutral. And they are not allowed to be abusive. That's a bit hard to describe. And they are not allowed to commit racial discrimination. So they are not allowed to treat someone badly just because they have a different background. If police officers are corrupt or misuse their authority, they are severely punished. So they are not allowed to be corrupt. So they are not allowed. Not we're going just again into the 1990, and we're going in front. So corrupt. They are not allowed to lie, make false statements, or misuse their language, misuse their authority, or be rude or abusive, or even worse. And so if they are corrupt or misuse their authority, then they are severely punished. So police officers they cannot do what they want in the United Kingdom. Police officers are supported by police community support officers. PCSOs. PCSOs have different roles according to the area, but usually patrol the streets, work with the public, and support police officers at crime scenes and major events. Police officers are supported by police community support officers. Police community support officers have different roles according to the area, but usually patrol the streets, work with the public, and support police officers at crime scenes and major events. So there seems to be a second type of police officers, the police community support officer, and they can patrol the streets or work with the public or support the police at some crime scenes. So there are different types of police officers. I think, can we take on that? We're going into the pigeon pose, so only if you already know how to do the pigeon pose, or anyway at your own risk. So the police is supported by police community support officers. All people in the UK are expected to help the police, prevent and detect crimes whenever they can. So all the people of the UK are expected, they should help the police to prevent and to detect crimes whenever they can. So if someone sees a crime, then they should tell it, and they should help the police to do the job, basically. Everyone should help the police to prevent and to detect crimes whenever they happen, or whenever they could happen. If you are arrested and taken to a police station, I didn't know, so this chapter is also mostly about crimes. If you are arrested and taken to a police station, a police officer will tell you the reason for your arrest, and you will be able to seek legal advice. So that is important. If someone is arrested, we have it here, for example, for drinking in alcohol-free zones. That can happen. If you are arrested and taken to a police station, so people who are arrested are taken to basically the home of the police, to the police station. then where an officer is telling the person the reason for the arrest. So we then should know why we were arrested. And the person is also able to seek legal advice. So someone who tells them what happens on with the law, what's going on with the law, why we are arrested, and how it goes on. If something goes wrong, the police complaint system tries to put it right. Anyone can make a complaint about the police by going to a police station or writing to the chief constable of the police force involved. Complaints can also be made to an independent body in England and Wales, www.policeconduct.gov.uk. In Scotland, if you are unhappy with the way your complaints have been handled, you can contact the Police Investigation and Review Commissioner at https:// that's Police Investigation and Review Commissioner tirk.scot/ In Northern Ireland, you should contact the Police Ombudsman Office, www.policeombudsman.org. We're changing the leg to the other side. And we are again in 1990, and we're just going different. So what was it what we had here? That whole chapter is about what the police has to do, right? That is a very important part. I'm a little proud of. I'm a bit astonished about that. If something that's very important, if something goes wrong, so if a police officer is rude or abusive, makes a false statement, does racial discrimination or abuses their authority, then people can try to put it into the police complaint system. So there's a whole system established that people can report if something goes wrong with police. So the police has some authority and they have might, and so that has to be checked and controlled. And there is the police complaint system, just for that the police does not get abusive. And anyone can make a complaint about the police by going to a police station or writing to the chief constable of a police force involved. We're going to the pigeon pose. So everyone can make a complaint, and they can go to the police station and say that officer has done something wrong. Or they can also write to the chief constable of a police force, and they can also be made to an independent body. So if there was something in that village at that police station with a police officer, they might think the whole police station maybe don't want to do something against their friend or their partner. So they can go to an independent body, and that can be fined or something like that for England and Wales at policeconduct.gov.uk. And in Scotland, you can you can go to pirk.scot, and in Northern Ireland to policeombudsman.org. That's it, nothing new. The police in the UK protect life and property, prevent disturbances, and prevent and detect crime. Here we're having a little simple photo. I'm right now trying to find out if it is a real picture or is just a symbolic picture. It looks a bit symbolic. It doesn't look. It looks completely new. All. Then the microphone. It looks completely new. I'm not even sure if the microphone is real. Oh, the sender or whatever it is. It looks completely real, new, and it does not go completely. But it doesn't matter. It's just a side thing. That is around how the police looks in the United Kingdom. They don't look all the time the same. Sometimes it's not warm enough for a t-shirt. I don't know when it's shot. But we're having a little picture for the police. So I don't think that the people here are real. And so not only that it's staged, but I think that is not a real police officer. But it doesn't matter for the picture. That's just like, it doesn't matter for the picture. That is something like that cannot look whenever it's sharp focused. So nothing new anymore. If you're here for reading about terrorism and extremism, you can go to the next part. Otherwise, nothing new anymore. We are just doing the pigeon pose for a few seconds. And we're going to the butterfly stretch. We're having the soles of the feet together. We're sitting tall up. And we're leaning a bit in front. having 30 seconds. We can go. Maybe? No. Let's do the constitutional institutions. So, monarch and parliament, prime minister and cabinet. Prime minister and cabinet. When we judiciary and the police force. That's the police. Judiciary and police. Civil service and local government. I thank you very much, and until next time.